Hello Taurus, my bull gang. How are you, friends? We are going straight to June and we are doing the monthlies. How are you doing? Thanks for clicking here. I hope you're well. And Taurus, let's find out what's going on for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs in the month of June. Look, just like that, we have burned almost half the year. And it is crazy how quick everything is moving. So what are we talking about this month, Taurus? We're talking about what is shifting in June after this full moon on the 30th, which is tomorrow as I throw these cards. The second thing we'll talk about is what needs your attention most. The third thing is, what are you making room for? What's arriving? Let's find out what's going on for Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. What is shifting in June? Emotional withdrawal. Taurus, I feel like it's time for you to get out and about. That's what it feels like. Emotional withdrawal tells me that you've been spending a lot of time at home or by yourself or withdrawing your energy, your emotional energy from someone, something. Maybe you're just spending more time by yourself trying to get a sense of I feel like you're meditating more or you're thinking more. It feels like you're contemplating more, pondering more. What needs your attention most in the month of June? All right, it's the authority. Look, this can mean many things, right? And we'll get to it because we'll clarify this all with tarot, but it does feel like what needs your attention the most is taking back your power, making decisions and not floundering on those. So instead of going back and forth, instead of swiping left and right, I feel like you're going to decide. So I feel like what needs your attention most is getting into this place of authority in your life where nobody, not anything, can sway your opinion after you've really gotten enough information, right? Because you don't want to make decisions based on incomplete information. What we're talking about lastly is, what are you making room for? So, what do you need to make room for? What is arriving, Taurus? Woo, yeah. As a Taurus, we love to see that, right? Prosperity begins, an opportunity. Something is growing. A seed you planted back there is growing. Look at that. It feels like it might be a relationship. It could be a partnership or a friendship, but something here indeed that you saw enough value in to plant the seed. It feels like you're going to see, you're going to see your return on investment here, whether that's money, time, effort, energy, people, relationships. And we have patience, which is Sagittarian energy, right? This is the Temperance card in this deck, the Psychic Tarot. So it does feel like, oh, I love this. Look at this depiction here. You had the seed, right? You had the seed there. You planted the seed, and now it's ready to grow. So it does feel like the moment of alchemy is about to arrive, and you're about to see the return on investment or whatever it is that you planted, whatever seed you planted is about to show up. Look, maybe you planted a seed with someone to try and help them grow, and they show back up in your life as the emperor, as the authority. That's very interesting to think about. All right, let's find out what else is going on for Taurus. Taurus, after the end of this video, you know that I do an extended, right? I will be doing extendeds on these readings as well. For those of you who are in the membership area, check the pinned comment. Let's find out what's going on here. Tell me about Taurus. What is shifting? We have, oh, isn't that interesting? The Knight of Cups shows up. The Knight of Cups, I feel, you know what, Taurus? I feel what's shifting for you is it feels like you're pulling back your energy or getting out of this energy here. When I see the Knight of Cups is the passive knight, but also is brave like all the other knights. But this one is brave with their emotions. I feel like you have decided that you're no longer falling in love with potential, no matter what it is. It could be a person, it could be a job, it could be a situation. You are no longer giving people the benefit of the doubt, Taurus. That's what it feels like. No more benefit of the doubt. That's what's shifting for you. It feels as though you are still going to be kind and patient and loving. You are going to use your emotional energy in a way that you've never used it before. And I think it's on yourself first because of this withdrawal of energy. And then whatever's left over, you're going to give to other people. Yeah, that looks like what's happening in the future here, my friend, as the Three of Wands shows up and shows that you have some opportunities or offers coming in the future. And I think that you've realized that you got to stop giving away all of your emotion. You got to stop living in this land of fantasy where everything is going to work out fine. And I'm not saying not to be hopeful. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to, but not necessarily the way you want to. And that's why I'm saying that this Knight of Cups is the one that I feel that is what is shifting for you. I feel like you're now looking at the future with maybe just a side eye. Not going to believe everything you see. And I feel like you're not going to believe everything you feel either. You're going to be very... Looks like this king here is someone who's being very choosy about how they disperse their emotional energy. There we got the Four of Pentacles. So I feel like, Taurus, you are going to practice the hold back is what it feels like. So what is shifting for you is you are no longer giving people 24/7 access to your energy. Dare I say that some of you, if you're able to do it, might put your phone on DND while you sleep. It feels like somebody here is like, I am limiting the information, the energy, the time, the effort that comes out of my emotions. I'm limiting that. Some of you who are in my group, the Three of Pentacles, those of you who are in my group who are cooperating, collaborating, and willing to build, I might consider giving you some of that energy, time, or effort emotionally. But for everyone else, I feel like you're shutting down, shutting off, shutting down. I'm not sharing with you. I'm not interested. I am planning my future. And in my future, I'm no longer falling in love with potential. So I feel like you're making decisions now, which makes sense as to why the Authority or the Emperor is showing up here for the month of June for you as being something that needs your attention. Because I feel, Taurus, that you are giving too much away without getting enough in return. And I'm not saying you're keeping score, but it's really important to not overgive so you don't end up exhausted while somebody else gets all the benefits of having you around. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. I think in the month of June, what's shifting for you, Taurus, is I think you're going to be very choosy about who you let in your life, who you meet at the property line as opposed to who you let in the yard. I feel like you're keeping things to yourself. Your emotional withdrawal doesn't tell me that you're cutting people off. I don't think that's what it is. But withdrawing your emotion, which means I don't necessarily have to have an opinion on every opinion that comes knocking on my door. I can just leave things as they are. That way I won't fall in love with potential, hoping it works, hoping. It's good to have hope, but when it's a delulu hope, that's when you get into a problem. I feel like, I think that you see the potential of things in the future, which is the Three of Wands and the Knight of Cups. And because you're a kind heart for the most part, and everybody meets a different Taurus. So I feel like I'm reading for someone who's a kind heart, or the Knight of Cups wouldn't show up. It does feel like with the Four of Wands being in the reverse, it tells me not everybody's going to get a place at my table. I'm going to realize who's actually giving to me in this practical energy and who's not. And whoever isn't, that's not on me. That's on them. All right, let's talk about this Authority here. This is the Emperor. And this is what is going to need your attention. Tell me about this. Why do we have this here for Taurus in June? We have the Five of Pentacles. Not everyone is going to get access to you, Taurus. I feel like you are closing the door to people who are begging for access, but there are people who are not necessarily giving back to you. I feel like you're still going to remain the same Taurus. You're still going to be giving. You're still going to be helping people out of a tough spot, but I don't think you're over giving anymore, Taurus. I feel like the world tells me that this is now a new milestone for you. You are becoming the Authority. And look, to be the Emperor, you've got to be making hard decisions and the easy ones too. And sometimes, back in the day when the Emperor ran the empire of all the kingdoms, if one family ended up with the plague, he'd have to oust them so everyone else didn't die. Sometimes you're making really hard decisions that other people don't understand, but you're making them out of wisdom, understand, because the Emperor is the wisdom of all of the kings. You know it because of past experience, and you're not about repeating the cycle. So I feel like you're no longer repeating cycles, and that we do have the Five of Pentacles here. And I feel that there are going to be people that you'll trip across who really do need your help, and you will make a good decision as to whether that person is going to receive your help or not. Because if you give it to everybody all the time, it depletes you. Taurus. It's okay to have boundaries with the amounts that you give, because takers don't have boundaries. We do have the Knight of Swords. I think that you're not going to be fearful or shy to say it out loud. I feel like you are now in this place of being in control of your life, your time, your money, your energy, your efforts, your independence. And I don't think it's like, this tells me non-apologetic. I will help you if you need help, but there is going to be a limit, the World card. There is going to be a time when I'm no longer going to be available, so don't get comfortable and codependent. And I feel like you're going to say it with honesty and gusto. I feel like you're just going to say it. That's what Gemini is, right? In Gemini season, I feel like you're just going to say it, Taurus. I feel like that is what needs your attention. You got to practice just saying it and closing the door when you feel that you need to close the door. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to end chapters wherever you want. Look, it's not an easy job. Like I said, the Emperor, the one who is in control of themselves, has to make discerning decisions. Has to have discernment. Must. So I feel like not all of the decisions you're making are going to be happy ones. You may even carry a little bit of emotional regret from the things you say, from the doors that you close. And you can't help everybody. You've got to pick the ones that are in peril that you can help. I feel like some people are truly down and out. And I feel like some people are truly entitled and feel down and out. So I feel like you're going to have the discernment, Taurus, to figure out which one of those needs your attention. So I feel like you really are changing your perspective about what it means to carry the burden of being in charge, like really being okay in your own life and having wisdom to make really good decisions. Tell me what is coming. What are you making room for, Taurus? What is arriving? I like this. I like this Ace of Pentacles. What is this? We've got the Death card. You know what's changing, Taurus? I feel like in the month of June, your finances are changing. The Prosperity Begins card is about a seed that you planted way back there, and it's now beginning to grow. And it's now yielding fruit, the fruits of your labor. I feel like this is a changing month for you. This is a transformational month. I feel like you will truly, throughout the month of June, really feel Uranus leaving your sign and moving into Gemini, which means you'll start thinking, right? Gemini, ruled by Mercury, is, you'll start thinking about the changes you can make and how you can change your mind and how that's going to benefit you financially, in your career, in your relationships. It feels like you are using this Prosperity Begins energy as very practical energy. It feels like you're transforming your finances, transforming your career path. It feels like you are transforming something here. We've got the Strength card. No more holding back. That's what the Death card and Strength mean to me. Transformation in how you hold back your strength. And that's what I said with the card of the Authority or the Emperor here. You're changing how you give, because not everybody is deserving of the same. Not everybody is going to answer the phone when you call at 3 a.m. Maybe they got their phone on D&D. Not everybody's going to help out all the time, and you're going to specifically pick the places that you're going to be helpful in. You got to discern. Yep, you got to plan. So we do have the Two of Wands. So I feel like what you're making room for here is you need a little bit of wiggle room, Taurus, so you can start making plans about how you're going to spend all this money, about how you're going to expand your business, how you are going to help this tree grow, how you are going to continue having this tree yield the fruits of the labor. So I feel like this is a seed that you planted back there that maybe you have forgotten about. This is going to catch up with you, and it's going to transform June for you. It feels like this is the end of you holding back. I feel like now it's time to be careful with your energy for sure, but also make sure that you are not feeling stuck. Make sure you are putting your plans into fruition, I would say, bringing them out of this place where you are stuck, where, you can plan all you want, right? Two of Wands, you can plan all you want, make all kinds of decisions about what you'll do in the future. But if you don't make it so, if you don't make it real in the 3D, then nothing changes. So I feel like what's arriving for you is planning. What's arriving for you is transformation of holding back. No more. I feel like this is you taking off on the runway, friend. You might be traveling. It could be that, because this is Sagittarian energy, right? And that the Sagittarian energy is the adventurer. We do have the Three of Swords in the reverse. It feels like what you're making room for is healing. I feel like things that you have held on to, that disappointed you, that broke your heart, I feel like that energy is being replaced by the energy of prosperity. I feel like this month of June is the beginning of your prosperity. That's what it feels like. And abundance is a big old umbrella. It's not just money. It's time, money, effort, energy, health. You've planted a seed, and now you're going to see all the fruits of your labor. And look, we all know when cucumber season comes, you're sharing with your neighbors and zucchini just to get it off your table. I feel like that's how it's going to be for you. You're going to have this carefully placed seed that you'd forgotten about that's going to keep reproducing for you. All right, I'm going to put down 3 cards. We're going to find out what we're talking about. I'm going to clarify all of this, by the way, in the extended. If you're interested in coming there, please look in the pinned comment. That's where you'll find all the information if you want a private read, or if you would like to come into the extended, please check in the pinned comment. So we have the Ace of Cups. Ooh, I like this. Justice. I love this energy here. So I feel like what we're talking about here, for those of you not coming into the extended, I feel like June is a month when you start unburdening yourself. Yeah, the Ten of Wands is here. It's time that your life slides into this place of restoration and harmony. I feel like for some of you, this is the month that you finally get your justice if you're up against a legal thing. It could be something that has to do with the heart space, something that's deeply emotional for you. It feels as though something is going to be lifted off your shoulders, whatever has been burdening you. It could be having to make all the decisions by yourself unilaterally. Could mean that possibly you meet somebody who's going to help you make decisions. If you do, I feel like it's a partnership. I don't feel like it's a love ship. At least that's not what I'm seeing here. Could come up in the extended, but I feel like you're sort of in this place where you're withdrawing your emotional energy, understand? I feel like you are now betting on yourself. You are now practicing standing up as the emperor and taking back your energy and saying, no, you don't get to treat me that way. That's what it feels like here. And although it might not feel great, I feel like you are going to be making some progress here in the month of June with the planning phase, because you're no longer holding back here, and it's time for you to see the fruits of your labor. We've got mental conflict, but look at that. We've got healing in the mental conflict. We've got temperance energy, and in a moment of alchemy, I feel like you're going to become unblocked with something. You're going to find an answer to something. A piece of the puzzle was missing, and I feel like that piece of the puzzle is showing up. We do have card number 17, which is healing. Look, I feel like this is going to be a real month of healing for you, Taurus. We're going to go into the extended. If you want to be there, you know how to get there. Just find the pinned comment above all the comments. And then we are going to clarify the rest of this. If you're interested in coming there, I will see you there. And if not, that's okay. I'll be back, because I'm always back. I will be back with the weeklies. Take care, Taurus. Thank you so much. Be well. Bye-bye.